welcome to Tansson TV Plus. Of course, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We always love doing this. And Mom, we have another movie.
We are once more going to continue speaking about the winter holidays. And this movie that we're going to talk about is called That Christmas, which is on Netflix.
Yes, and so this is a very exciting movie, and it just released this December 2024. And Mom, I'm excited for us to get into it.
Yes, I am too, Brandon. And first of all, let me tell the audience, I really did enjoy this movie. It is just in very general terms, it's really to me a kind of a heartwarming Christmas story. It involves a small town. It takes place in a small town in England called Wilmington. I think it's Wellington on the sea or on sea. And it's really about the interactions of families during the holiday season. But it's a variety of different families during this season, and the town itself does come together when a child who kind of wanders off while she's playing hide and seek, and so they kind of come together at the end in order to find her. But in the middle of all this, there's just a lot of different family dynamics that are going on for different families in the movie itself, and I think that's what the movie kind of tries to portray, is that there are a lot of different good things going on in different people's lives, and that people can be brought together, for good causes.
Yes, and first of all, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
Yeah, and I thought that this was, such a great movie, and I'm excited to sort of dive into it. And you're the one that suggested it, actually.
I did. I was looking for something different. We have hit some things that were pretty much mainstream that have been on big name movies. And not to say that this isn't, but I was just looking for something different that we had not seen before. And so was watching Netflix and said, oh, a holiday movie. Let's try this. And so I'm glad we did, because I was able to watch it in one sitting, and which is a big thing for me, and I enjoyed it, and I've remembered it, which in itself is amazing.
Yeah, and it definitely, really piqued my interest, and I like that it was one, as you're saying, not mainstream, but I like that it's different. Like, it truly has its own identity. It doesn't try to become something else. That this is truly its own movie, and I enjoyed it, and the story had to tell.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not big into cartoons per se, and so this is, I would say, a sort of cartoon, but I just thought it was kind of a heartwarming story.
Yes, and I can truly attest that, Mom, you're really not into animated features, but I was impressed that one, that you, I said, were very attentive to the movie, and we were both having questions throughout it, and commentary, and I definitely want to go ahead and dive into some of that commentary.
All righty, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the things that we see is that we start off with a school play, and we see all these different characters that are introduced. But what I found was interesting is that the whole movie wasn't all of these characters together, but rather all of their individual stories.
Yeah, there were a lot of individual plots in this, and they all kind of come together at the end, but they all really were individual stories that could have stood alone.
Yeah, and something that I like about it is that we not only are introduced to these characters at the beginning, but we are given their personalities, or portions of what we think their personalities are, based off of our characters. But throughout the film, we realize that this isn't the full story.
Yeah, we do learn that even though some of the students appear a certain way, that we learn that their personality is a certain way just because of, I want to say, some positive things that are going on in their lives, and it just, in that one instance, to others it doesn't look like it's positive, but there's some real positive things going on in their lives.
Yeah, and then even when we're given one piece of detail, is that we're almost given a counter. For instance, with our main character that we see, and more specifically speaking about Danny Williams, is that we see, okay, well, his mom isn't there. We don't know what she's up to, but then we find out that even though his mom is incredibly busy, that she is 100% there for him all the time.
Yeah, she is. She's just a single working mother who is doing her best for her son, and she is, she's there for him at all times. And they had an interesting way of leaving messages for each other, which I found kind of entertaining. But and I think one of the characters at the end made a point of actually talking about his mother and said that she is the one that they needed to actually kind of feel sorry for because she was missing portions of his life, but she was doing it for good reasons. So I like the way they kind of brought that together.
Yeah, and something I liked about that is that even though, of course, that she doesn't want to work all that time because she wants to be with her son. But in the same regard, I like that they didn't go for the trope of "I hate this job." Like she truly seems to have a passion for the job, but she just wishes it wouldn't get in the way of spending time with her son.
Yes, yes, and she makes a point of saying that she really does want to spend time with her son. It's just that that's something she has to do.
But yeah, and but a person that I really, grew to love in this movie is actually Mrs. Trapper.
Yeah, Mrs. Trapper, I can't tell if she's a teacher or the person who's the owner of the school, but yes, she or principal, one of the one of the three. But she actually has a significant role in this movie because she kind of knows all the characters. She has apparently taught or has been the principal or something with all these people in this particular movie. So she's able to know. Who she can count on. She knows what their strengths are, and she knows who she needs to go to in time of a need.
Yeah, and I like that for whatever it's worth, and that how many people are scared of her. In the same regard, when it came down to someone having a problem, she was the first contact, no question.
Yeah, she was someone that everyone deeply respected, and so she had a really pivotal role in this movie.
Yeah, so it's definitely really interesting, like I said, to dive into it, and I like that throughout the story, seeing all the different perspectives, is that is that we have a sense of hope, even when things don't always seem hopeful.
Yeah, they do show that there's hope in all situations.
But yeah, and to go back a little bit, so this whole movie is narrated by the one and only Santa Claus.
Yeah, it is. It is narrated by Santa Claus. However, it's interesting that Santa Claus does he only plays for me one pivotal role in the movie besides being a narrator. Other than that, Santa is just kind of on the outskirts, kind of watching to see what goes on in this town, and knowing that the town does need some help, or the people in the town does need some help. And he does one thing that does impact the story, but otherwise, Santa's kind of just a narrator.
Yeah, and that's something I really like that I think makes this movie different because we've seen, of course, throughout doing this, a few different movies that have Santa as a pivotal character, someone that can make difference, can change, and I'm not denying that he can do that within this film, but in the same regard, he's not the one that makes this change,
No, he doesn't. It's the people of the town who kind of make the changes.
which makes it so much more interesting. The fact that he's the one that's narrating.
Yeah, it is. I guess as an outsider, he's just basically an outsider looking in and kind of saying what he sees and how people changed.
But yeah, so it's definitely very interesting because, like I said, since we knew that he was a narrator from the very beginning, it was like, okay, well, what is he going to do that's going to impact this? But he shows it's like, well, the people did this and that they helped each other more than he ever could.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and so I thought it was just such a heartwarming story, and there's so many things I thought that tied in with each other, and I thought even the inclusion of various music throughout the middle part of the movie even worked really well.
Yeah, they did a really nice job.
But yeah, but Mom, is there anything else that you want to say about that Christmas?
No, I just thought, if you're looking for a movie to watch that's easy going and pretty clean to watch, I like this movie. Like I said, I watched it without falling asleep, which says a lot. And so it was just a nice, heartwarming movie.
Yeah, and I did want to know. I did a little bit of research, and apparently, this movie is based off of three different like Christmas little storybooks.
Oh, it is. Which one's, Brand?
From reading, doing the research that was based off the credits, it is the books "The Empty Stocking," "Snow Day," and "That Christmas."
Okay, and I'm not familiar with any of them, so so this for me is, like I said, a new movie to watch.
But yes, and we should say too that this is based within the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it is. It is based within the United Kingdom.
But yeah, and so the production company is Locksmith Animation. This is the first thing I've seen from them, but they've only made one other movie, to the best of my knowledge. And so I think, based off of this, I'd definitely be interested in checking out the other movie they made.
Yeah, I would have to, we'll have to look into that.
But yeah, but Mom, is there anything else that I said that you want to mention for this movie discussion?
No, I just recommend for people to watch the movie.
Yeah, likewise from me. Like I said, well, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yep, thank you for tuning in and watching us, and have a great day, everybody.
Enjoy the holiday season.
All right, bye bye.